Hey, what's up guys? Zero Select here, bringing you something a little different from what I usually do. It's not Showdown Live, it's not nothing like that. I guess you could say it's a custom moveset video, but I feel like the word custom set is a little too strong in this case specifically. Although I've never seen anyone run this particular set on Togekiss, which is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, second only to Meloetta, but it is a Joe Specs Togekiss, and like I said, this is not really very widespread. I'm pretty sure people have thought about using it, but I've never ever ran into someone that was using it, or even considered using it on a team. Anyways, it is a rather peculiar set to be running Togekiss, who prides itself on his bulk, and his ability to just stay alive thanks to roost and things like that. But what this set aims to do is to capitalize on Togekiss' base 120 special attack and that wide move pool that it has. It literally has moves to hit practically everything, and that is really cool. But alright, let's just get right into it. The EV spread, I guess, is the first thing I'm going to talk about. Of course, since this is a Specs Togekiss, you want as much firepower as possible, so you will have to dump 252 EVs into special attack with a modest nature. With that, you'll be able to you'll guarantee you hit as hard as possible with the short specs, practically 2-hit KOing basically everything that isn't a dedicated special wall. By that I mean things like Chansey, Blissey, and Sylveon. And but all those you can still bypass them thanks to Air Slash if you get lucky with flinches, but that's beside the point. But anyways, there you go. Modest max special attack. You could run 56 speed EVs. This guarantees you to outspeed and 2-hit KO Rotom Wash on the switch, so you don't have to worry about that thing ruining your day, or just sitting there stalling. I mean, we all know Rotom Wash is really fucking annoying, so special defensive Rotom gets outsped and 2-hit KO by Togekiss with just 56 speed EVs. And it is running enough speed to outspeed Rotom Wash that like to speed creep by I think 2 points, 1 point. I think it's 1 point. I'm not sure. I have to revisit that. But anyways, the rest of the EVs are then dumped into HP, and because this way you basically capitalize on Togekiss' overall bulk. I mean, 95 HP defense, 115 special defense. That's pretty nice natural bulk, and then 85 HP, give it 200 HP EVs, and he'll be able to reach 361 HP, which is a nice odd number to have on something that's weak to rocks. So there we go. That is the set. Of course, you can always forego the speed EVs and dump the rest into HP if you want. You could run 248 HP and then the rest in defense, special defense, or speed if you so wish to do so. I would just prefer running 56 just to guarantee that you can OHKO, be able to destroy special defensive Rotom, and that way the rest of your team has an easier time, dealing with your opponent's team. Things like Mamoswine would definitely appreciate having Rotom Wash out of the picture, Gyarados as well, and just things like that. So that is the EV spread. Now onto the moves. Dazzling Gleam and Air Slash are pretty much mandatory because those are the strongest stat moves that Togekiss has access to. Because sadly, it doesn't get Moonblast and it doesn't get Hurricane, so you're gonna have to deal with Dazzling Gleam and Flinch and Air Slash, which is really not a bad thing. Because I mean, there's a few things Togekiss can't break through, even with all the covers that it has. But with Air Slash, you could get lucky and just hack your opponent to death. And I mean, that's what Togekiss does best. It's been doing it ever since 4th gen, and 2 generations later, it's still doing the exact same thing. So Dazzling Gleam, Air Slash, mandatory stat moves. And there we go. The third move goes to either Flamethrower or Aura Sphere. It depends on what you want to hit. The move that you choose decides what counters Togekiss. I would prefer Flamethrower just because he deals with more steel types in general. Things like Caesar, Skarmory gets destroyed by Flamethrower. Aegislash gets destroyed by Flamethrower, so you cannot give it this way. With Flamethrower, you don't give Aegislash a free switch, because I mean, Aegislash is really scary. You don't want that thing. You don't want to give that thing a free switch. So Flamethrower does a 2-hit KO on the switch, with or without rocks. So that's nice. Another option for Flamethrower, you can also give it Fire Blast. you trade accuracy for much higher base power, and you know, with the specs, that Fire Blast is gonna hurt whenever it comes to it. But there you go. And then with Aura-Sphere, Aura-Sphere is really there just for Heatran actually. Yeah, Aura-Sphere hits Heatran. I'm not entirely sure how much it does to special defensive Heatran. Let me just run a real quick calc just to give you guys a general idea, so this way you can choose between the two moves. But yeah. And so while doing this, the last slot I have it reserved for Trick. Now, why am I using Trick? Because like I said, there's a lot of special walls that Togekiss cannot break through. Two of which are Chansey and Blissey. And as we all know, Chansey and Blissey love to just sit there and stall for days. So on the predicted switch, Blissey or Chansey comes in, you can go for Trick, cripple that, and if it's Chansey, even better because you get rid of its Eviolite. And then you will have a much easier time dealing with those two walls. Florges, although it's not really widespread in OUs, also another Pokemon that can take hits really well from Togekiss because it is really bulky from the special side. So, you know, being able to get the Trick off from that, just cripple it for the rest of the match, that'll be great. But, okay, here it is. Aura-Sphere does about 48 to 57%. So after rocks, if you have managed to get rocks up, specs Aura-Sphere is a 2-hit KO on special defensive Heatran, so that's something to keep in mind. Just to show you how much power this fucking Togekiss has. Special offensive Heatran, of all things. But if you want to overall, you know, maximize Togekiss's wall breaking potential, I suppose, hit practically everything in the game for neutral damage, or super effective damage that is, you can actually forgo Trick and give it Aura-Sphere or Flamethrower depending on which move you decide to go for the third slot. This way it guarantees you that you'll be able to hit anything that thinks of switching into Togekiss with a covered move of choice. Other notable options that you can run as well as Psyshock, because it hits, like I said, dedicated special walls a lot harder than Dazzling Gleam ever would. So, you know, Blissey would not appreciate taking a spec Psyshock, although it really won't be doing too much because Blissey is really bulky. Chansey would actually shrug it off, but it'll end up doing a lot more damage than Dazzling Gleam ever could. Florges is 2-hit KO'd, and so is Sylveon, so just a couple of things there. But Psyshock is more, you know, it's inferior to Aura-Sphere and Flamethrower, would actually help out with coverage overall. So there you go. That is basically the set right there. On the screen right now, you will see a couple of calcs, just to let you know exactly, you know, if you want to know if you can take a hit from a certain Pokemon. Here you go. Life Orb Ice Beam from a approaching Greninja that's not Togekiss, so if you're at full health, Greninja comes in, you can stay in and take him out with a Dazzling Gleam, or basically practically any move you want to go for, because Greninja's, you know, move pool defenses are kind of non-existent. So there you go. Togekiss can take one Ice Beam from full health. Can take a Stone Edge from a defensive Tyranitar. I don't know why the hell he would ever try to stay in on a Tyranitar, but it can take one. You can take a Bullet Punch from Mega Caesar before the boost and completely obliterate it with a Spec Flamethrower. So, you know, that's also nice. And Bandit Caesar has a really high, like about 60% chance to OHKO Togekiss from full health. So that's kind of a gamble there. I mean, I guess you could say it's like a 50-50 chance that he will OHKO you. But if you feeling ballsy, go for it. Stay in, go for the Flamethrower, and I hope to God he gets a minimum damage roll. But and it's also interesting to note that Togekiss can also take a Stone Edge from a defensive Landorus and just OHKO right back with his Specs Dazzling Gleam. So keep that in mind. But anyways, that is the end of the Moveset video, guys. I hope you guys find it informative, and I give you you know, a new way to play with Togekiss, because of course the only one I ever see is what Heal Bell, Roost, Defog, Dazzling Gleam, or Air Slash, or just the general, you know, just the good old Funshak set that I love with passion. But you know, it's just another thing that you can do with Togekiss. I've been using it in Poke Battle. You guys have seen it. Me use it for the most part, and it puts in work. And Because I mean, not many people respect Togekiss. So, there it is. That is the Moveset video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And, I might do another one in the future. I don't know. I doubt it, really. I'm not really that creative with sets. But, we'll see, though. Anyways, guys, I'm going to review myself again. Hope you guys enjoy it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.